So the topic of this video is something not a lot of YouTube creators like to talk about. It's how much money do we make? And there's gonna be people out there that watch this video and they might be frustrated or angry because in their mind it's not justified. However, this video is not for that subset of people. This video is for people out there that are a little bit crazy. In order to be an entrepreneur in general, you have to be a little bit crazy because you are consciously choosing not to take the traditional path. So if you're confused about what you should be doing in your life, or you're not sure what you should major in college, or you hate your current job, then I would highly suggest you pay attention to this video because it might be something you should seriously consider. So here it goes. Before we talk about how much money YouTubers make, how much money we make, I want to talk about passion. And that is such a loaded fucking word. My whole life I was pressured by my teachers, my parents, that I should be trying to figure out what I'm passionate about. On top of that, I should also try to figure out how to make money from that thing that I'm passionate about. At the time, I thought that was crazy. I mean, how are you supposed to make money from something that you do for fun? So I went to college not really knowing what I was gonna be doing. And I think that's the case for a lot of college kids. They get thrown into the system and they're told to just figure it out. And then at the end of 4 or 5 years, they end up at a corporate job, not really caring what they're doing, working from 9 to 5, hating life, and paying off student debt for the rest of their lives. I knew that I did not want to do that. In my first year of college, I also got my first real job. I worked at a 7-Eleven and a Best Buy. And I'm gonna be completely honest, those experiences really cemented for me that I did not want to be working on something that I didn't give a shit about. I didn't want to spend my waking hours at a place where I could care less about the success of that company. I remember at those jobs, I would be checking the clock every few minutes, just hoping that it was almost time to leave. I don't think that's how you should be spending a huge chunk of your waking life, just waiting until the clock strikes that magical hour that you can finally leave. I couldn't wrap my head around why anybody would do that unless they absolutely had to. And now during this time, I was being pressured by my parents, my family, to be a doctor. If you're Indian or Asian, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Your parents want you to be a doctor or an engineer, and they will do everything in their power to make sure that happens. And they do this because, you know, it's prestigious to be a doctor, and so they can go to parties and point to you and say, "Do you see my son over there? He's a doctor." Some people want to be doctors, that's great. That's what they're passionate about. I knew I had no interest in the medical field, but I also didn't know what I wanted to do. And at that same time, I luckily also met Kong. I actually met him on a creepy online pickup forum where guys exchange tactics on how to pick up women. Yeah, it was as creepy as it sounds. And they actually called it a pickup lair. So, let that sink in for a second. So I messaged him on this forum and I was like, "Hey man, you live in my area, you wanna meet up?" We went to the same school and we met up and we quickly realized we had a lot of things in common. And the two big things were, one, we both wanted to get better at interacting with the opposite sex. And two, we were both extremely interested in entrepreneurship and being a business owner. So that's exactly what we did. We practiced our social skills and we also started businesses together. Kong and I were starting these mini business projects together, and while they were incredibly fun, they weren't really sustainable. So I told myself, if by the end of this year you don't figure out what you actually want to do with your life, then you have to just start taking pre-med classes. That was basically my ultimatum. If I didn't figure it out, I was gonna just suck it up and become a doctor. And during this time, Kong and I were also brainstorming a lot of businesses we could start together, and we executed on a few of them. We started a business where we sold textbooks to students on campus. Fun fact, freshmen don't understand that you can buy used books. So they go to the bookstore and they buy books for $200 that you can find online for like 10 bucks. Selling used books to freshmen turned out to be a great business. We also started a t-shirt business that bombed very quickly. And we had a few other failed business projects, but at the end of the day, nothing was really sustainable. And then one night at like 2 a.m. while we were brainstorming ideas, Kong looked at me and he literally yelled, "What if we started a YouTube channel?" At first I thought it was crazy, but he explained it and his reasoning actually made a lot of sense. I'm going to explain it to you the same way he explained it to me. Tell me if this clicks. Think about what you're passionate about. Don't you dare tell me you're passionate about nothing, because that is a flat out lie. Everybody has something that they're more interested in than other things. Think about that thing you're really interested in. You got it? Now, Could that thing be a topic of a YouTube channel? Yes, literally any topic can be turned into a YouTube channel. Video games? Yes. Fashion? Yes. Dogs? Yes. Pickup? Yeah. So here was our thinking. If we could get viewers on a channel about something we were passionate in, then we could turn that something into a business. A business doing something we were inherently passionate about. That's the dream, right? So we decided to do it. But to be honest, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We didn't know how to edit videos. We didn't know how to get views. We didn't even know what camera equipment to buy. And we were broke as fuck. Our first few videos were really bad. I'm gonna play you a bit of the first video we ever made, and you're going to cringe. I'm just giving you a warning beforehand. This is not something that's going to be pleasant to watch, but here it is.
You know what though, we actually need to go to, but
Okay.
we should definitely hang out. Do you want me to call you?
I have a boyfriend.
Oh, me too.
Oh yeah?
That's cool. It's okay, I can be like your weekday boyfriend and he'll be like your weekend boyfriend. Ooh.
I don't roll that way, but...
Now, if I were to ask you out on a date, what would you say?
No. The past month.
After being rejected a good 3 times, my heart was shattered and I could take rejection no more.
Yeah, we had a lot to learn. But after some trial and error, we started figuring out what worked and what didn't. And then we started to see some success. We started actually getting views on our videos. And I was still working at Best Buy and 7-Eleven. I immediately quit those jobs and started putting those hours towards creating content. Even with that, college classes still took up a lot of time. So we decided with 1 semester left to drop out of college to pursue this crazy dream. Needless to say, my parents were not supportive of this. They thought I was crazy. And luckily, they started to become cool with it. After a few months, we moved to the ghetto in Van Nuys, California, otherwise known as the asshole of California. We started making about $3,000 a month on our channel, split between 4 people. Jason, Kong, our cameraman, and me. We were all living in one shitty apartment and we barely had enough money to pay for rent and food. But it was still one of the best times of my entire life. I look back on those memories very fondly because we were hustling. We were trying to make this crazy thing work. And we saw that there could be light at the end of that tunnel. And on top of that, we were working on something that we really, really cared about. We were creating a channel that helped people all around the world overcome their social anxiety. And to us, that was immensely valuable. Way more than the money could ever be. And then, as time went on, we understood how to consistently grow our channel. And we turned it into a real business, doing something that we loved. And I will never forget this. A few years ago when things really started picking up for us on YouTube and we figured out this could be sustainable. That same year we went to this music festival called Coachella. And we were all sitting there feeling pretty good, if you know what I mean. We started talking about YouTube and how it enabled us to take the thing that we were passionate about and turn it into a sustainable career. And the fact that we could reach hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of people with this message that we wanted to get out there. And it became so overwhelming, the fact that we were actually doing this, the fact that we were living our college dream, that we started to cry. We just sat there in a circle crying our eyes out from happiness. And that's why I'm making this video, because I don't think what we did was that crazy. Last year, through this channel, we pulled in $2.5-ish million in revenue. Now, we're not pocketing all that money and buying yachts. We've invested most of that money into hiring over 15 people that are smart, creative, intelligent. Kong and I are able to hire every single one of these people and pay for their salaries because of this YouTube channel. So what's the point of this video? Well, like I said in the beginning, I wish someone had just sat me down and said, hey, if you're not passionate about what you're studying in college, if you're a little bit lost in your life, if you're working a job you don't really give a shit about, that's okay. You can actually do what you love and make a lot of money doing it if you just use the internet. So I don't say this lightly. YouTube literally saved me from the life that I did not want to have. Now, this video is already getting kind of long, and if anything, it's actually opened up more questions. Questions like, how do you even start a YouTube channel from scratch? How do you think of channel and video ideas? How do you actually get your first 1,000 subscribers? How do you monetize your channel once you get it going? Now, I'm gonna be completely real with you. It's harder growing from 0 to 100,000 subscribers than it is going from 100,000 to 1,000,000 subscribers. And that's because there are so many mistakes that newbie creators make and so many things they have to learn in the beginning that once you get it, it becomes a lot easier to grow. There's a lot to cover here, and I honestly could not fit it into this one YouTube video. So Kong and I sat down with some other really big YouTubers like JK Films and Simple Sexy Stupid, and we had a 1-hour podcast where we go over everything. We give away our secrets, tell you how to grow your channel, we tell you how to get a shit ton of views quickly, and we give away the ins and outs of channel monetization completely for free. If you are even remotely unsatisfied with your job, with what you're studying in school, then you need to listen to this. This is a podcast that could very well change the journey that you embark on in life. So I highly recommend you give it a listen. And who knows, maybe you'll be the person that ends up taking their passion and turning it into a giant YouTube channel that brings in enough money to sustain you and a team. And here's the thing that I love about YouTube so much. Anybody can technically do it. I mean, if you close your eyes and you think to yourself, what does the ideal, successful YouTube creator look like? I guarantee you it's not me and Kong. I mean, we are some Harold and Kumar looking motherfuckers. And on top of that, we both had crippling social anxiety. But here we are with a relatively successful business, living comfortably, and I know this is a cliche, I know it's overused, but if we can do it, you can do it too.
Whenever people ask us, I don't know about you guys, but when they're like, how do we start a YouTube channel? And the first question they'll ask is, what equipment do I need, right? And it's like, you don't need any equipment, right?
Yeah.
Well, you need some equipment. Your phone.
You need there
You need
go.
a laptop.
It's like the bare minimum. But people spend so much of their mental real estate figuring out like, how do I get the best equipment?
Yeah. Sony or Panasonic.
It doesn't matter. You can have the best camera in the world. It doesn't, or the shittiest.
It's your mind. People are paying you for your mind.